コスプレじゃないよ、海軍だよ、俺は。
This is not cosplay. I'm Marine.
Well, thank you all for joining us and coming all the way from Japan. We really do appreciate it. So let's please give one more giant round of applause for our guests today. First, I have a question for Shimizu-san. What is your personal journey with One Piece as a franchise? And how did you start getting working on it?
今から25年前、原作のワンピースが始まりました。その2年後、23年前にアニメーションが始まりました。
So about 25 years ago from now, that's when the manga started serialized in Jump Comics, and then afterwards, 2 years later is when the anime started.
その頃は私は若かったんですが、23年経つとこのように年を取ってしまいました。
And back then I was a little bit younger, and 23 years after One Piece, you're going to look like this.
なんと小田一郎は25年間ずっと漫画を描いていて、毎日毎日も家にいまして、ニューヨークにも本当は来たかったんでしょうが、集英社の編集担当は鬼になってですね、小田一郎を今働かせています。本当に小田さんかわいそうだと僕は思っています。
So actually, Oda Sensei, very, very hard worker. He's working every day, 24 years writing manga. I mean, come on, that's just amazing, guys. And I really wanted him to come to New York, but the editor at Shueisha said, hey, we need you to write more manga, so you're not going to.
小田さんはこの前発表しました。最終章に入ったと。トラックで言えば第4コーナー回ったところだと思います。おそらくラスト、すごいラストになると思います。楽しみ待っていましょう。
So I know this has been announced, but Oda Sensei himself said One Piece is entering its final arc right now. This is the last sprint, guys. I think there's going to be a lot of cool stuff that's going to happen, so keep your expectations really high.
Oh, wow.
はい、今日は私は海軍なので、これ以上あまりベラベラ喋らないようにします。
Well, since I'm a Marine, I think, that's enough talking.
Well, I mean, I do have to say, I hope that after 23 years of working on something, I look as cool as you.
いや、全然23年間遊んでばかりでスタッフが仕事をやっています。
Well, actually, 23 years, yeah, but I was mainly fooling around, and then I started shifting more responsibility to the younger staff around me.
Gotcha. Thank you.
All right, beautiful. This is for Taniguchi-san. What inspired the direction to make this film so music-centric?
小田さんといくつか話をしたときに、今までの年を取った強い男の敵ではない形でいけないかと言われました。小田さんと打ち合わせをしたときに、今までの敵、強い年寄りの男みたいなものではないもので考えられないかというのを言われました。
It's the audio environment, it's not me, guys, just saying. But no, when I spoke with Oda Sensei originally, he generally in a lot of the One Piece movies, there's these kind of really buff, gruff villains like dudes, right? And he wanted to give a very important role to a female lead.
その時にいくつかアイデアがあって、その中の一つに歌を歌う女の子というのがあって、これをちょっと使うと小田さん歌好きだし、やれるんじゃないかなということで提案しました。
And we thought we should make this lead female character sing because Oda Sensei is really into music, so I thought that that would be a really good combination.
そうしたらやはり歌が好きだから乗ってくれたんですけれど、乗りすぎちゃっていろんな絵を描いたりとかいろんな色を作ったりとかいっぱいいろんなことやってくれて助かりましたね。
And lo and behold, he was really into the idea. He was very involved in this movie. He took a very personal touch and approach to this and went really all out on the songs and had he was very involved in this, let's just say that.
It absolutely shows. This is a spectacular movie. I cannot emphasize that enough.
Yeah. The next question here is for Shibata-san. What was the process for deciding what style to use for the songs in terms of genre and animation approach?
はい、今、谷口監督がお話しいただいたように、小田さんは本当にご自身が音楽大好きでいらっしゃいます。
So Taniguchi just mentioned it right now, but Oda is again really into music.
で、谷口監督と脚本の黒岩さんの方で、映画の中にどのように曲を入れていくか決めていったんですけれども、その中で7曲入れていこうということに決まりました。
So director Taniguchi and the screenplay writer Kuroiwa, the three of us discussed, well, how are we going to integrate these songs into the film? And then we arrived at the conclusion that there are going to be 7 songs, vocal songs in this film.
そしてその7曲をどんな曲を作っていくか、どんなアーティストに作っていただくかというところにもう小田さんが全て、ご自身の意見を言われまして、7人全てのアーティストが小田さんの意見で、決定しました。
And Oda-san, so when we decided there's going to be 7 songs, Oda-san handpicked the 7 composers who arranged all the, he wanted to be involved, like I said, he really was into music.
そして、その曲が出来上がっていく中でも、もうデモ曲、ラフが上がってくるたびに小田さんしっかりその曲を全部聞かれて、またご意見をフィードバックされ、また歌詞とかにもご自身の意見をしっかり言われて、もう全ての曲がもう小田さんのなんていうかね、小田印、太鼓判をされているような名曲揃いになっております。
And every time we would get a demo or a sample that came through from the mix, Oda-san would say, hey, send it my way. And he would listen to it, give us feedback. So I think it's safe to say there's an Oda signature on every song in this movie.
Wow, that's very cool.
ぜひ楽しみにしていてください。
So I think there's a lot to look forward to.
I will say New Genesis is certainly a bomb. I've had it on repeat quite a bit.
嬉しいですね。あれ日本でもすごく人気があって我々も本当に嬉しく思っているので本当に皆さんも何度も聴いてくれると嬉しいです。
Well, thank you very much. It's a really popular song in Japan too, topping charts. So I hope everyone in this room puts it on repeat as well.
I do actually also want to add the music videos for all of them as well are also very impressive. So I think, you know, obviously all the effort is very much shown.
はい、ミュージックビデオも小田さんがプロデュースをされてまして本当にどういったアーティスト通常のテレビアニメとちょっと違ったテイストで映像を作ってるんですけどもそれが本当に新鮮で曲と合っててこれもなんか見れる機会があったら東映アニメーションのブースで全部流れてますのでぜひご覧いただければと思います。
Yeah, this is something that Oda produced himself as well, and I think the animation has a very different touch or look to it. And if you go to the Toei animation booth, I believe you can watch it, so everyone should go check that out.
Yeah, please do, please do. All right, what was Oda Sensei's involvement in developing Uta as a character and the music in the film?
歌に関してはまず私とプロデューサーと脚本の黒岩さんの方でどういう人物像なのかどういう歴史があってやっているのかということをいろいろ話し合ってきました。
Well, first, in terms of the character Uta, both myself, the producer, and the screenplay writer, we got together and tried to figure out, well, what kind of character is Uta going to be? What kind of background does she have?
そうするとどうしてもシャンクスが出てくる展開になってしまったんですね。
And no matter how we tried, we always crossed paths with Shanks. There was no way to write her in without having Shanks.
Shanks fans.
ただ皆さんも知っているようにシャンクスというのはとても大事なキャラクターで小田さんも大事にされています。
But as everyone here knows, Shanks is a very, very important character, a very important character to Oda-san himself, so we have to treat him really carefully.
ある打ち合わせの時に小田さんに「シャンクス使わせてくれると楽なんだけどな」って言ったら「いいよ」と簡単に一言が出てそこから話が一気に進んだっていう感じですね。
So after many films where we couldn't put Shanks in, I thought, well, you know, Oda-sensei, if we could just put Shanks in this movie, a lot of things are going to be really, really easy to do. And he said, all right, go for it. And everything was just history from there.
なのでこれはやっぱり小田さんの OK が出なければ作れなかった映画。先ほどあったように音楽に関しても小田さんの方でまず好みのアーティストを言ってくれ、なんとかこっちは頑張るからと、そういう形で作っていった作品ですね。
Yeah, so this is a movie very much that without Oda-sensei's approval and involvement, we couldn't have produced it, and like we mentioned earlier, including everything from the music as well.
Great. Another question for you, Taniguchi-san. What was the most important thing Oda-sensei wanted to portray in this film?
普段ワンピースの映画というのは強い敵が出てきてそれに対してルフィが戦うという図式です。
Well, usually the One Piece film format, as everyone here knows, is there's a really, really strong villain, bad guy, and Luffy goes head to head.
今回は、ウタという女性が、今の段階でストーリーは言えませんが女性が大事な役で出ています。
And with this film, though, Uta, a lead female role, I don't want to spoil anything for you guys, but she's going to be, of course, a very key character in this story.
今回の映画はルフィがいつもとルフィと違います。戦いません。
And Luffy is also very different in this film. He doesn't fight as much.
映画を見て感じてください。
So I hope everyone can go see the film and understand why.
ルフィがパンチを繰り出さない。
Luffy does not throw a punch.
僕は嘘を言いますからたくさん嘘を言いますから。
But I've been known to lie too, so
私は原作者公認のペラペラの実の能力者です。新世界から来てるんです。
So I've been told from Oda-sensei himself that I had a demon fruit, a devil's fruit, called Bera Bera no Mi, the blabber fruit.
だからこれ以上質問しないでください。僕ストーリーこれから全部言っちゃいますよ。
So don't ask me any more questions, or I'm going to take...
Okay.
そう。海軍だぞ俺は逮捕するぞ。
I'm going to put you under arrest.
I'm gonna have to hit the high seas and, make my escape. So another question for Taniguchi-san here. Fans get an opportunity to meet the Thousand Sunny in a brand new way in the film. Can you tell us about the development of this character?
映画にはマスコットが必要だと思ってます。
I thought we needed a mascot for this film.
できれば可愛いキャラクターがいいですね。
And I wanted to make it a cute character.
小田さんの方にサニー号をこういう風にしたいと言った時に小田さん理解できなくって何言ってるんだお前はと言ってきました。
So when I proposed to Oda-san, hey, I want to have Sunny make an appearance in this film looking like this, he looked back at me and said, what are you smoking?
酒でも飲んでるんじゃないのかお前はといろんなことを言われましたね。で、何度か打ち合わせをして最後小田さんが「わからないけどみん んな喜ぶんだったら書いてみるよと、お前が言うんだったら書いてみようじゃないかというのがこのサニー君です。
And in the end, he was finally convinced and says, if you're going to insist this hard, all right, I'll give it a shot and see what I can come up with and illustrate.
映画が完成した後で、あ、そういうことだったのかと、これはあると嬉しいよね、大事だよねということで言ってもらいましたよ。
And finally, when the movie was complete and he got to see it, he said, okay, I think I understand now, and finally accepted Sunny appearing as a mascot.
どういう形で使われて、どういう形で出てくるのか、ぜひ映画を見て確かめてくれると嬉しいです。
So this is something that, again, everyone out here, you have to see it, experience for yourself, and I think it'll make sense.
Sounds good.
This one is for Shimizu-san and Taniguchi-san. What was the most important thing for you to share with the fans through this film?
Everything.
アクションもあり、涙もあり、笑いもあり、そして音楽がある。この楽しい世界を皆さんに伝えたい。
So there's action, there's some tear-jerking moments, there is, of course, emotional music, and...
歌とか音楽。
I said music. Sorry, I missed one.
All good. All good.
No, but everything is in this film, so I want everyone to experience it. That's what I can say.
ワンピースは今連載25年で、あと3年なのか5年なのか10年なのか分かりませんが連載続きます。そしてワンピースには終わりがあります。今シャンクスが出たということは原作者が言うように最終章に入っています。まず
So One Piece has been going on for 25 years now, and it will end, whether that comes in 3 years, 5 years, or 10 years, I don't know. But the fact that Shanks is making such a grand appearance, I think, speaks words.
はい、今これ以上言うとストーリー言っちゃいそうなんで言わないですけども、
And if I keep talking, I don't know what I'm going to spill, so someone should probably stop me pretty soon.
世界中でもおそらく最高にすごい大河漫画だと、あるいは我々も大河アニメーションにしたいと思っています。
But we're going to make this one of the most amazing finales in manga, animation, and everything that the world is going to see.
そしてこの最終章の入り口にあるこのレッドという映画はワンピースの、祝砲花火っていうんですかね、これからのルフィたちの活躍に向かっての祝砲だと思うので、我々はワンピースという伝説神話に今一緒にみんなと一緒に携わっていきましょう。
And Film Red is really at the kind of brink or kickoff of this final arc, and we're all about to embark on this legend together. One Piece is going to be a legend, and we're all part of that journey.
それで一個今プロデューサーからしたアドバイスありました。テレビシリーズも見てくださいよ、映画だけじゃなくて。
And the producer just whispered in my ear right now, everyone watch the TV series too, not just the film.
Fantastic. Well, I mean, I think we're all really looking forward to it. Regardless of the format, I think things are really kicking up for One Piece as a series.
At the time we get to voice it. And that means that we get the music to lead us into those emotional moments. And in this movie in particular, the music was so incredible. I mean, you guys, the music is so incredible. And it gives you the emotion that you're supposed to be having. So it's kind of like cheating with acting. And it is one of the very few things that is easier about dubbing than other kinds of acting. So I loved having it.
Yeah, and the music was incredible and amazing, and the singer, oh my God. But we've been doing music with One Piece for a long time. Oh, the wind carries my name.
Yeah, we've done a little bit of music here and there, but not a full movie like that. That's awesome. It's really good.
I can speak for Zorro too to say that I was really happy to know that there's actually a lot of butt kicking in it as well. So it's not all singing, guys.
It's just going, Sonny.
So when working on this movie, when we're going through it, we're introduced to a lot of new characters, and especially getting to know Uta in the movie, that has this rich story with it. So how did it feel being in this movie and meeting this new character, Uta? What were your impressions?
She's such an incredible character. She's so well fleshed out, and I think that she does a really good job of representing what's going on in the world of One Piece. With pirates and the Marines, and just like knowing what there are good pirates and there are bad pirates, and how the world is being affected by both of those different groups of people. And I think that it was great to see a snippet of what that's like coming from one individual person, and she kind of took us through it, like how that impacts her emotionally.
I think it's also interesting because Luffy is kind of an enigma, you know, and he just sort of is. And for us as crew members to see somebody so familiar with him and how she interacts with him from the get-go is just a really cool thing to see, especially since we've been with him for so long.
Another piece to the puzzle. Just one.
Just one.
Just one piece.
Let's see what he did.
Some people wonder why Luffy was asking for a musician in episode 3. I think we know now.
What?
Likes music.
Yeah.
So our next question here then is, did any of the cameo appearances in the movie surprise you?
Freaking Jinbei.
I loved Bartolomeo in this movie. I absolutely, him and Beppo gave me joy. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, there's a cameo, but I think that's a question for later in this.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Any scene with Bartolomeo is a good scene.
Yeah. Gotta give a shout out to the dub English voice for Bartolomeo, Tyson Reinhardt. He kills it in that, man. Mr. Luffy! Nico Robin! Sandy!
It's been like there's so many characters in the show now, and Zoro just experiences the show as kind of like this dude who kind of is barely there sometimes. I felt like Zoro was a bit of a cameo in this movie.
Zoro
I was just happy that he was there. Like, it's been so long since I've actually felt like I was a part of the story. It felt really good.
I was surprised to see Zoro.
Like, hey,
You've been.
I was like, oh, Robin still exists. That's cool.
Yeah, we were recording all of Whole Cake, and for those who don't know, like, it's separate stories. So for like a year, I didn't see Sabin at all, and then he's like, "Oh, what are we doing?" I'm like, "Hey, this is a whole different island. It's a different show. We're in Wano now, baby." Wano.
I've been fighting for 35 episodes. Where have you guys been?
That's beautiful. Where are we at? We also seen a little bit of them up here, though, but they have a couple of different outfits in the movie. They have their concert outfits and their battle outfits, and Nami sporting them right here. So what was everyone's favorites? Did anyone have any favorites?
And my favorite was Usopp's festival costume. Oh my God, I'm such a Kiss fan, and I was just like, wow! It's amazing.
I liked Usopp's before outfit, like at the beginning of the movie, but I like Brooke's after outfit.
See, I love my after outfit, but I really want the hoodie that he wears in the beginning to the concert. I would be wearing that now if I could. I love it.
But I do like it whenever they give Luffy like a pirate captain.
Yeah.
I want that. Like my life, my real life.
Look good at it.
I'm just gonna wear it around the house like a robe.
Yes. Do it.
I always do appreciate Sanji's capris. You know, you can see the hairy legs every time. A little throwback to Skypiea. I always appreciate it.
Oh my gosh. Sanji is still Sanji today. Man, that guy, I wish, what? A lot of people. There's some great moments too. I mean, everything that fans love, I love that they kind of put it into the movie and they're like, hey, you want a little bit more Zoro Sanji? Yeah, we got that. You want some singing? We got that too.
If I recall, I think he uses him as a step stool in that movie. In the movie, you'll see.
You'll see.
All right, our next question here. What are your hopes for the Straw Hats and the Red Hair Pirates in the future?
Ooh. I so wish we could just throw this to the audience. Like, your hopes.
Your hopes and dreams.
I want them to fight together at the end. Like, I want it to be, because Shanks was a part of watching Luffy become who he is now, and I want him to fight at his side as like equal, and for them to take it all down together. But I guess I could say that about a lot of characters.
I want Usopp to someday say, I have an army of 8,000 men, and they come over the hill right behind him.
They're all here. They're right
It's an army of 8,000 men! Let's get them!
Follow Captain Usopp.
I don't know. I feel like in the future, what I think is so cool is our show has gone on so long. We have gotten to be with these characters for so long. There were times I despaired that we would get to finish the show. And to see it having the day it's having, to see it having the reception to this movie is so gratifying for the show and for the creators. I cannot tell you. I hope Nami someday does get to draw a map of the entire world. You know, like, yes.
It's been really fun to watch this show just sort of explode in popularity. Like, I think COVID wasn't the only thing that infected the world. Like everybody started watching One Piece. As soon as we started coming back to these conventions, like 1 million people were in front of me with like Zoro items, and it was so fun to see. I'm like, hey, you guys are finally here. You're here. You joined us. Welcome.
You listened to your friend. He's been telling you you need to watch One Piece.
Like, okay, I finally have enough time to watch it now.
To that friend who has been saying that for years, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, friend.
I hope your friends are now with you and you're looking at them like going, huh? I told you.
There was somebody yesterday that came through, and then he's like, I finally got her to watch it, but like, she's only 100 episodes in, so I just gotta wait. I'm like, you have to wait a year? How are you gonna do that?
I will just say, even as a fan, I remember when like the first Skypiea episode aired on Toonami, and and it was like kind of the, you know, Chris, to your point, even since then it's just gotten more and more popular. So it's very cool to just see it, you know, expand across eras and ages in that way.
You guys are making me really emotional.
Oh gosh.
I'm happy to be here with you guys.
It is. Going off topic here, the love that they bring into that booth, and I've been lucky enough to be working on One Piece for the past 4 years since it came back. I started in Punk Hazard when they were leaving, had no clue what was going on, and they have all been so kind to help shepherd that, to carry that, and they always come in with this enthusiasm. And I have to say, not that they don't always give 100%, but when we were recording the film, I was just so impressed with the enthusiasm that everyone gave for you guys. This is a labor of love that we all do because it's such a historical show. There's nothing like it. And I can't express like the joy and the love that we have for this and just seeing it reflected in the fandom. It's awesome.
Anthony, all 5 of us can say that about you too.
Yeah,
You are phenomenal. We love you.
Great.
The material in this is so strong too. I mean, I've been an actor since 1979, and I've never actually cried in a performance except for Usopp. Like during the performance, like I'm actually crying for this guy. I love this show.
We always get all teared up. We'll sit there, and I like to give Colleen like okay, so here's what happened in the manga, and here's where we're going. And I'm like, when we're having our engineer place all the lines, I'll be like, Hey, Colleen, what do you think the last episode's gonna be like? Do you think at the very end, Luffy's just gonna stand there and say, I am king of the pirates, and then it just says the end and everyone's crying and they give Usopp the sunny and he's like, gets to go and sail, and I don't know.
I hated you the first time you said it.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
I will sob. I will sob.
Well, speaking of Sunny, we were talking about the cameo in the movie. Oh, look at that. Yasa. We get to see more of the red-haired crew, and there are some great moments there. How did it feel going on that journey with Usopp being so close to his father after so long? No spoilers.
I don't want to give any spoilers, right? Let's just say he has daddy issues, and he faces them in the coolest way possible.
I will say though, that's like one of my favorite scenes in the movie though, is
That end. Ooh. It's so vague. Sorry, everyone. Lucy, you touched upon it a little bit earlier, though. Now that we have these characters coming back, Shanks is in the movie, and we kind of see where everything's going. It feels like everything's culminating. How does that feel with the journey we've gone on to this point, kind of seeing that and just your hopes through your character, kind of seeing it through this movie unfold? You don't have to answer.
Oh, well, I'll just say, some of us have been fortunate enough to be in this industry for a really long time and have gotten to see anime become something that not a tiny number of people watch. And the fact that we get to be a part of these shows that we don't create, they're created by amazing people in Japan, but we get to be a part of the storytelling process, and I can't tell you the honor it is. It's such an honor, especially for a show like this, that there really isn't anything like it. The sheer breadth of the world that's been created, the style of the characters, it's like nothing else.
It deserves this attention it's finally getting.
It's getting an attention, yes. It's just awesome. It's awesome. And somebody asked me yesterday at the table, what happens when you find the One Piece and everybody disbands? And I went, disbands? Are you kidding me? Would Luffy let us disband? No.
I'm absolutely amazed that Oda has been able to keep the story going and beyond that, like make it more and more interesting. And we're past 1,000 now. Like, how do you take a story? I thought somewhere in the hundreds, I was like, okay, now we're gonna start seeing repeats of stories, or like it's gonna start to feel a little weak. And it absolutely has been the opposite. He has just made it more alive and more full, and now we're all getting to experience it together because of social media. So we get so hyped with you guys when every new thing happens. And every time I walk in the booth and you give me a spoiler, and it's like, what happens then? When do I get the...
It was fun.
Can you name another storyteller who's done this? I think it has to go down in history as the greatest storyteller ever.
Peak fiction.
And you guys imagine, like, what did we say, 16 years ago? 16 years? When you get a phone call that's like, hey, you were chosen to be Nami in One Piece. You should know this is going to be a commitment. And you're thinking, what does that even mean?
You know, back then though, they didn't really say that to you. They just said, you're Nami in One Piece. It's sort of, oh, like, cool, how long is this gonna go? Like
12, 24 episodes.
Yeah, I was trying to do the math backstage. I'm like, we have been pushing this, like, we've been working on this show for over 16 years, according to Colleen. You do the math. And we pushed I think it's been 3 years worth of time in the One Piece universe, too. And if you think about that, in Japan, it's been over 25 years. That's a long time to work on something that's only gone this far. And we have, who knows how long to go. That's the most exciting part.
All I know is I'll be in the nursing home doing the last lines.
Where's my army of nurses?
Am I doing that Usopp thing again? Give me my drool bucket, let's go.
Luffy's gonna sound like Lucy for real.
So going on with back to the movie that we get there. Were there any moments that surprised you when we were recording that we saw, or any just moments that you want to talk about from that?
The first time I heard the music, honestly, that one, do you remember that? Like, I was asking you to play it.
Oh yeah, and I was like, no, you gotta listen to this.
Yeah. We get to the point where she sings for the first time, and it blew me out of the water, and then we like shut down recording for a little bit so we could just listen to it, and it's phenomenal.
It blew my mind to see Yosop in it. I can't wait for you guys to see it if you haven't seen it. Oh my god.
Let's watch it now. Play it. I wish.
I could not and still can't open my TikTok without hearing Uta, and I love it. It comes by all the time, so I've heard the song way too many times. I love it.
Yeah.
No.
And then moving on, then how does the music affect different moments in the movie for you?
Oh, sorry, I spoiled it. I already said that.
You're precog.
Jumped ahead.
Okay. All right. Well, actually, so with that, that does complete all of our questions here today with the English cast. So thank you all very much for that.
Wow, cool.